There's nothing worse than when a wireless controller doesn't work or you're lagging and you know that you've got a good internet connection at the house. Generally, the problem is the stock antenna on the system just isn't cutting it, and you need to upgrade to an external antenna. And this is how you do it very cheap and very easily. My PS4 is hidden in the closet, and I kind of have a mini home theater setup going here. All my electronics are all hidden in this closet, and I cannot get a signal to save my life, whether it's with the controllers or with the Wi-Fi. It's super weak and spinning all in circles and everything else. And it was awful. So it was unusable in that location. So this little mod here, all you need is a Torx 8 security bit, Phillips screwdriver, a 1/4-inch drill bit, socket, utility knife, and something to blow the dust out. Some oxygen in a can or an air compressor. And right here, this antenna kit is like, I don't know, $8, $9 on Amazon. Super cheap. And I'll include all of the links in the description for all the stuff that you'll need. So just head down there to find all the stuff you need to do this mod. Right now, I'm just popping off the stickers so I can access the Torx screws. And be mindful, if you do pop these stickers off, you will void your warranty. My PS4 is well out of its warranty. This was one of the original models at the original launch of the machine. So I don't even remember how many years ago that is now, 5 or 6 years ago. So I'm well out of warranty. Just as simple as removing those 4 Torx screws and then popping the back cover off. And that's how you get inside this baby. It's super simple. So there she is in all of her glory. Right there you can see the antenna cable running. My finger's running along it, and that's the little metal piece of crap that they got as part of their antenna. And right there you do have to disconnect the power supply, and that's just 3 more Torx screws and 2 Phillips head screws. And that just removes this power supply so you can access where the antenna connection is. And when you're removing the power supply, this is kind of the trickiest part because it's hard to get a good hold of. I noticed if I wiggle on the left and then I use my screwdriver to pry up on the left, and you want to go nice and gentle, but that just releases this power supply from the prongs that gives it power. So when you're pulling this back, there is a flat cable connection there. So just bend it back nice and slowly. You don't have to disconnect that cable. I just set my power supply off to the side like this. I left the cable connected, and I had access to everything I needed. And this I highly recommend is blowing out your system with some compressed air. And my gosh, mine was awful. When I blew this out, there was dust that filled the whole room. So that was probably one of the best things that came out of this, was just cleaning that guy up. And there is where our antenna is connected. That's what it looks like. So all it is a snap ring. They're super easy. All it takes is pressure to release them and pressure to connect them. And then the wire just runs up through those prongs, behind those cables, and then up the side. So here I am. I just take my my screwdriver. I just add some pressure, and the thing pops right up. So no issues there. And then you just reroute it from all those little cable holders, connectors for that antenna. So just disconnect them, or I guess unwind them from that, and then it pops right out. Right now we're gonna drill our hole for our new antenna. So this is a 1/4-inch drill bit, and we're gonna drill through that external back housing that we originally took off. So there's our housing, about 4 inches up, and you want to go right along that top there. And I had no issues running with any sort of clearance or anything of that nature. Here I am just taking off the rest of my antenna. I've seen a few different placements for that external, but I find that this is totally fine and adequate. I didn't run into any problems, and I'm just getting rid of this old antenna. I have no use for that. Now here I am putting the new antenna on, so I'm feeding it right through that same pathway that the old one came out of, and I'm running right through those little prongs that hold it all in place. So I'm putting it in the exact same spot where the old one was. And then it's just as simple as adding pressure to the snap ring, and you'll hear a solid, you'll feel and hear it right here. I don't know if you heard that right there. It clicked right in. You get a nice positive snap when the thing connects, and you'll feel it and you'll hear it, and you'll know it's on there securely. And like I said, I just ran it right back up through those little wire prongs, those little holders that hold it in place, back up the side of the power supply, and then I'm about 2 inches from the power supply where I drilled my hole. So now that's it. You're done. You're just putting it all back together. And here with this power supply, those are your prongs, and you just got to make sure that those prongs fit back into the power supply in the slots. So just be mindful that when you're coming down on that, that's exactly where it's going to go, is just those 2 prongs are going to go into those 2 holes. So it's just up and over and straight down, and then push it in firmly, and you're good to go. Get that cable out of your way, and it just runs up along the side like that. You just push it in, and it falls right into place. Now it's as simple, just take your Torx screws and your Phillips screws, and you put them right back the same way they came out. This job really couldn't be easier. I think it took me 20 minutes, and that was while filming this thing. So if you're not filming, it'll go even quicker for you, I'm sure. So here we are. We're just going to connect our new antenna to the rear housing of the PlayStation in our new hole. So you put a washer on, then you put your antenna through, and then there's a little grabber washer, then a regular washer, and then your nut. And just do all of this hand tight, all of your screws, all of your Torx, all that stuff going back on. You don't want to over tighten any of this stuff. So you just want it firm and snug. Here I'm going to take the socket. I'm just going to give it an extra turn or two, make it hand tight. And that's all you need. You know, this thing falls right back down. Everything fits flush, and just as it always had. And now we're screwing on our external antenna. And this is, the only thing you got to be mindful here of is just don't cross thread it. But other than that, it's, just simply screwing 2 things together. So now you're buttoning it back up. Put those last 4 Torx right back to where they go. And put your stickers back on if you want to. You don't have to. It's up to you. And you're ready for the big test. See if it all works. Yeah, I put my stickers back on. I don't know why. I'm just obsessive or something. There we go. Back into the closet. And that's what it looks like with its external antenna flying. And this is going to be totally, I'm going to guess that this will be adequate for the vast majority of you that are looking to do this upgrade. Here we go. I'm standing outside, the door's closed, everything else, and firing it up with the controller. And as you'll see, there is no errors, no failures, no warnings or anything. Ta-da! So this worked perfect for me as long as my controller was fully charged. As soon as I got about 40% of life, so I played this thing for about a week before I knew what was going on, or before I, did this video. And when I got about 40% of controller, I started running into these same issues again. So my controller just wasn't powerful enough at that point. So what I did was I bought a cable that extended this antenna. So there we are. Instead of coming out directly with the antenna, I just run that cable. I run it right along with my HDMI cord. And in my case, I run it through the wall, out of the closet and through the wall. And we're going to come right back out behind the TV. And now my antenna is way out here. So even though my PlayStation's in, my antenna's right out here. It's outside of all that wall. And this made a huge difference. I can run my controller all the way until it dies. I have no connectivity issues, and I'm getting great Wi-Fi signal now for all my downloads and all of that stuff. No lagging issues. So for the vast majority of you, it may just work doing the antenna on the side. But because mine was back in that closet, and I think it's mainly just because my controllers are so old. If I had new controllers, I think it's just when the battery starts to go on them, there's not a good connection. So this solved all my problems, putting this antenna to the outside and putting it behind the TV like that. So couldn't be happier. For less than $20, this solved all of my problems, and I can hide my PlayStation and still use it, and everything's great. And here I am playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which I absolutely love. So yeah, and you guys that read my books will know why I like this game, but leave some comments. Do it up. Let me know how your build goes. Have fun.